Hi everyone, welcome back to Connoisseur Corner, part of the Feldy Network. I am Marty Feldman and we're here again today for the Feldy Cooks again. We're going into the kitchen. We're going to do some, well, what do you got to do? It's winter, it's fall, you got to do soup, right? I love this time of year because, man, I love soups. And tonight we got a good one. This is something utilizing kind of one of the main ingredients this time of year, and that's a little bit of butternut squash. So if you like butternut squash, you're going to be happy tonight. So we're going to do an Italian sausage in squash soup. It's a fairly easy one, not a huge long list of ingredients, fairly easy assembly on this one. So kind of sit back, relax, and we'll cook you through this one, as they say here in the kitchen. So first up, let's do a little bit of ingredient listing, and we're going to start with essentially a pound of Italian sausage, just a bulk sausage. You can get, you want to do the sweet, you can get the mild, you can get the little hotter side sausage. That's up to you. That's then you're going to have about 1.5 cups of chopped onions. So that's you can do like one large onion. A white or yellow is fine. A couple of medium ones will fit the bill. Chopped. Then you're going to also have about 2 tablespoons of garlic. So 2, 3, 4 cloves of garlic, depending on sizes of your garlics. We're going to do 1 butternut squash, peeled and of course seeded in. Going to cube this in about 1-inch cubes. So roughly about I think about 1.5 pounds of squash is what we're looking for here. So after that, again, the about 1/4 teaspoon of the red pepper flakes. Then we're going to have 2 cups of the chicken broth, 2 cups of water, and again use a decent quality chicken broth, like a chicken bone broth is really good. Say that 3 times fast. 1 cup of red bell pepper diced. So that'll be about 1 real large red bell or a couple of smallish ones, however you need to do that, depending on what you have at the grocery store. Then we're going to have a 1/2 cup of heavy cream here. We're going to have a teaspoon of dried sage, kind of the ground powdered dried sage, if you will. That'll add a little bit of nice essence to the soup. A teaspoon of sugar goes in this for a little extra sweetness balance. Then we're going to have about 2 cups of the baby spinach. And I do just a rough chop on it. You don't have to. It's going to wilt up in the soup either way. Then the trick, the kind of the secret star ingredient, it was not the star, the sausage and the squash is the star, but the little secret ingredient here is brandy. Now don't put a 1/2 bottle of brandy in here. I know there's some of you out there want to do that. So 3 tablespoons of a good brandy, good quality brandy, go in this towards the end to finish that up. So after that, of course, salt and pepper to taste. That's your ingredient rundown. So now off we go to the kitchen and let's walk you through this one. So first, get your good soup pot. Hopefully you got a nice good heavy pot, and just throw a turn of oil in there, a little turn of olive oil, and then go ahead and hit your pound of bulk sausage in there. Brown that up, kind of chop that up. Let that go until everything's browned, ready to rock and roll. And you're going to want to kind of evacuate from that from the pot, set that aside, just plate with paper towel on it, let that kind of drain. You can leave some of that sausage love in that pot, some of that oil, the brown bits, of course. And at this point, we're going to saute up the onion. So get the onion in there, get the garlic in there with that, and also put the red pepper flakes in there as well. And again, if you want to elevate that heat a little bit more, if you're a pepperhead, you can go a little bit large 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, whatever works for you, but start with a 1/4 teaspoon for most of you. That's going to fit the bill, and get that hint of heat in there. It's a wonderful thing. Good for the balance, good for the taste buds, as I like to say. So let the onions, the garlic, the red pepper flakes simmer about 10 minutes will do it, medium heat, of course. And then at that point, I want to take the heat up to kind of a medium high, and we're going to shovel in the squash at this point. We're going to, of course, kind of stir that up with the onion, everything that's in there. Let that kind of coat up. And we're going to do that about 10 minutes. You can go 15, 10 is fine, just to kind of heat that through, get a little cook on the outside of that squash. Then at that point, we're going to let the squash go for a swim. We're going to add in the chicken broth and the water, so add in all 4 cups of your liquid at this point. Get that pot going to a nice, good heavy simmer. And we're going to want to cook that squash through till it's real nice and tender, because you want to get that kind of super fork tender on it, like you're cooking potatoes or something like that. That same kind of mentality on this, right? So once that's good, and what we're going to do is we're going to run this through the blender. You can do it in a couple batches if you need to. If you got one of those jumbo kitchen blenders, you might be able to get it all in one. So get that all blended up, pureed up, nice and smooth. Be patient with that in the blender. Make sure you're not just doing a chop on it. You want to get a nice puree on it. Once that's done, return that to that soup pot. Get that heat back up, and at that point, we're going to add in some of the final ingredients here. Let's add in the red bell pepper. That's fine diced on that bell pepper. Let's add in the cream. Let's add in the sugar, and let's add in the sage. So you're going to want to combine everything in that pot. Get a nice stir on that. Let's bring that to a nice little simmer. Let that get happy. And then boy, at this point, you're going to start getting the smells in the kitchen, and you get the taste buds going. Wonderful stuff. So let that simmer for, give that a 10, 12 minute simmer for a bit. Let that get happy. Then at that point, we're going to kind of do the finishing move now. So we're going to go with of course, get the spinach added. We're going to get those 3 tablespoons of brandy, again, not the half bottle, just the 3 tablespoons of brandy in there. Get a good stir on that, and then of course we're going to season at this point in time. So salt and pepper, do that to taste. So get that in there, let it simmer for a couple minutes, maybe do a retaste, see what you think. If you got to add a little more salt, hit it in there. You don't have to go crazy with it. You're going to get this good balance with the heat and the sweet in this anyways, so you should be in good shape. So about a 5-minute simmer is going to get that spinach wilted and nice and happy and ready to go. And at that point, you're ready to dish. Now if you need to hold for a while, you can keep this warm for, dial that heat down just to kind of a nice warm setting and let this go. I do kind of a semi-covered. I did a little, with this one I did a little side. I just had a little bit of bread, so what I did, just a little brush of olive oil, topped it with a little grated Fontina cheese, then I put that under the broil just to get a nice little heat and little crust on that. Then in a bowl I have some little baby tomatoes, halved those into a little mixing bowl, a little olive oil, a little splash of, I think I put a little splash of balsamic on that. Then some herbs. If you only have dried, just put a little bit of dried herb on that. If you got some fresh, all the better. You know how that works. A little stir on that. Take the bruschetta out of the broiler. top the tomato on that. Man, it's just a little extra treat to go with that soup. So there you have it, folks. Little Italian sausage and squash soup, little side of the tomato bruschetta, and of course you got to go some wine with this, and with the squash soup, you're thinking like a dry white. So your typical, like a good Chardonnay goes with this. Viognier would be wonderful if you can find a good Viognier. Pinot Gris would work. A Gruner Veltliner would be a unique and probably a pretty spectacular pairing with this as well. So again, cheers! Thanks for joining me here in the kitchen tonight, as they say, the virtual kitchen. Again, the subscribe button is waiting for you to get down there and click and follow along to all the recipes and all the stuff that we're putting up here on the Feldy Network. And thanks for joining. Cheers, everyone. Bon appetit.